The term Neoteny pedogenesis coined by the Colson. The term Neoteny is derived from the Latin Neotenia, means larval life in extended Neoteny, also called the juvelinization, is threatened by the adults as a species of traits seen in previous only in juveniles. Or retention of larva or embryonic features in adult's body. Retention of embryonic cartilaginous skeleton in adults contractiles and the larva gills in some adults salamanders. Pedogenesis is the act of reproduction by or organism that has not achieved physical maturity. In other words, pedogenesis is the production of offspring by the organism in its larva or juvenile form and elimination of the adult phase of life cycle. It is associated with the pedogenesis where the sexual maturity is achieved in a juvenile phase from and further physical maturity is not achieved. Pedogenesis is found in the gallfly, liver, fluke, salamander insect in which the larval stage reproduce without achieving the maturity. It occurs in the females or certain beetles, Steptera, backbone, scales insect and gallmidae. Examples of Neoteny amphibian example है. Classical and the most informative examples of Neoteny and the pedogenesis among the amphibia are the furnished by Ambiostoma. A maximum lives in like Zilomili in the highlands of the Mexica and a trigonum in high altitudes of Colorado, North America. Normally they go through the typically gill aquatic larva stage, then the metamorphosis, become adults air breathing lands from the however the under certain circumstances larvae do not metamorphosis retain their gills and aquatic habitats but become sexually mature. This sexually mature but metamorphologically immature larva stage with external gills is called as a exult. Exotal larva of Ambiostoma trigonum possess three pairs of delicate brushy external gill slits, a flat long and tail with prominent tail fill and the dorsal fin merged with the tail fin. The exotal larva possesses the power of retention. Exotal larva become a sexually mature when they attain the age of only 6 months. The newborn larvae were nosed out within the 50 days. Optimum temperature for the development of egg is 80 to 24 degrees Celsius at the age of 16 months. The exotal attained the length of 2.5 centimeter and become a sexually mature to start breeding. A sexually immature exotal at the age of 80 to 24 months range in length 55 to 45 centimeters. Poses features typically the salamander larva including the external gills and caudal fins. Three pairs of external gills are used for the respiration through the vocal pumping for air and surface may also be used in order to provide oxygen to their lungs. Types of Neoteny: partial Neoteny, intermediate Neoteny and total Neoteny. Partial Neoteny involves the simple postponement of metamorphosis beyond the normal period due to the Neoteny temporary change in ecological conditions or sudden physiological abnormality of the tadpoles of palovates, fucus, fucus peloides, pectoral atlas, hyla, obrella, bulfo, rana, rana tigrina, rana secotana. Intermediate Neoteny. Intermediate Neoteny stage between the partial and the total Neoteny are also recorded when the larva becomes the sexually functions may metamorphosis into the adult with abundant of favorable condition. Sexually mature exotal larva comes under this category. Total Neoteny in this category specimens become the sexually mature at the larval stage but retain the larval characteristics like external gills, tail fin, ill-developed eye, well-developed eye, well-developed fin on back, very big limbs. Total Neoteny are pedogenic because of pedogenesis involve the capability of reproduction at the larval stage. Factor affecting Neoteny: intrinsic factor or extrinsic factor. Extrinsic factor. Extrinsic factor scaffold that the deep water and the coldness inhibit the thyroxine secretion which retain the metamorphosis during dying up of slump, lack of adapted food supply and rise in temperature in surrounding water includes metamorphosis, induced metamorphosis. Internal factor. But recent research is included to reveal that the metamorphosis is primarily influenced by the bearing threshold bearing including level of thyroxine and its analogues and by the degree of the regressive of larva tissue to hormones. Genetic Neoteny of it role the significance of Neoteny. Neoteny looked upon a consequence and adaptation to night-bomb environment where the retention of larval gills and the other larval features may be advantageous. Peculiarities of